everyone. Thank you for inviting me here, and my apologies for barging in traditionally like the proverbial late government official coming late for the function. But I'm very happy I'm here with you. Actually, I was part of the launch last month when FICCI did their, study launch here. And as the Secretary of the Consumer Affairs Department, I think really it's a very correct and timely report that you brought out. This is direct selling is an area which really hits the sweet spots of what India is looking at today. You know, we are talking a lot about employment generation. I think the speaker who was introducing missed the point about employment generation. It's got tremendous opportunities, tremendous potential for increasing employment, and of the kind of people who are looking really for employment, the educated, the people with communication skills but not having the options to go out. It also addresses a very important gender issue. Many of these sellers are women, and that is another aspect that the government of India and government of this Telangana state is fairly concerned with. So gender and employment, both issues are very well. And then, as you mentioned, skilling, Make in India, these are very important sectors for the economy now to sort of grow at the pace that we should be growing. We have all this right demographics, we have the right institutions in place in India. But unless we facilitate and have a convergence of all these issues, the economy, we are going to remain a developing economy for too long if we don't get these things right now. So, again, good to Mr. Rajat Banerjee and his team for bringing out this very timely report. Now, the findings are a disturbing thing. The whole thing is that despite its potential, this sector has not taken off as it should. It has rather it kind of, sorry? Your report is truthful. Yeah, the report is truthful, but the truth isn't as good as it should be, unfortunately. It's the bitter truth, as they say. Now, the point is that we need to take a step back and look at, literally, this seems to be a solution to many of the things we are looking for. I mentioned about the employment, of the right kind of targeting of employment, not just employment, but the kind of people who are creating pressure on governance and creating pressure on economy, they can find opportunities. Entrepreneurship opportunities exist in this domain. But somehow, it's worth taking a look at why this sector hasn't taken off. And if it has also, the speaker was mentioning, it was growing faster than the Indian GDP growth rate for some time, and then it had a step back. It took a step back. So we need to look at those issues. And some of them addressed, we have had some unfortunate incidences. There is lack of clarity about the policy framework that governs this domain. And that's been a bane of Indian growth story many times in many sectors because of either because of bad policies sometimes or because of lack of policy clarity, lack of policies per se in that domain. We haven't had as fast a growth in that sector as we should. Particularly so as I get engaged with the area of direct selling thanks to your efforts. So many times you're pulling me out of other things and engaging me and forcing me to look at it. So as I engage with this sector, I see that this sector is a singular example of how lack of clarity about policy, lack of confusion of definitions, can kind of literally kill the golden goose, so to say. Anyway, much of the ground has been covered. This was only my perspective and a reason why we need to with this, these issues. But last time I had mentioned that we will take it forward in Telangana, at least the newly formed state of Telangana. Hyderabad was a big center. I see some of my friends who have been engaged in direct selling for a long time in the city, and Hyderabad was a fairly forward center for growth and development of direct selling in India. Now we want to again show the way, and we'll come up with a very sort of forward-looking progressive policy on this. And I would like to thank, FICCI and the knowledge partners and other agencies involved in this whole study for the kind of inputs they have provided. Honestly, you have like the whole thing pretty much, structured. It only needs to be put in place. Policy making requires a little bit of internal debate. There are different stakeholders in this case, certain interpretations need to be clarified with the law department, with the home department, etc. But I think we have, thanks to your inputs, we have made good progress, and I look forward to a day soon when it will again be able to grow fast in the state of Telangana with the right support from the government. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and thank you for your study.